Well, me and Mario were the only ones at the park. We're not in Florida. We were in Georgia visiting my mom, and we had a wonderful Fourth. I'll clip in a couple clips from my mom. She's so awesome. It's really nice to be here. Um, I thought I'd just give you guys a quick little update. So I'm staying here in a old RV that I got really super cheap, and the people are Christians, and it's just wonderful. I talked to the gentleman who owns the RV the other day, and he actually used to work for like special ops. He was in Iraq, and he's a Christian now. And he said when he was there in the government working, he really thought he was doing something worthwhile. And he says there's a lot of people. He said when we were at the airport, he says this was on the news. We were the ones that were in on the ground with the planes leaving Iraq, whenever that was, and he said people were literally hanging on to the planes. He said, and we had to leave them. He says we couldn't take them out of there. We couldn't save them. They were so desperate. He says people don't understand the desperation. And we got on the subject because we were talking about, knowing God and being saved. And I said, sometimes in death there is life. And some people, it's like the thief on the cross. You're going to be the thief on the cross before you get saved. You don't. But the most important thing isn't living a life unsaved. The most important thing is say we're all going to die. We're all going to die. So you either die being saved or you die being unsaved. And so living a life unsaved, what kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? And so the most important thing, even in your death, I said, the most important thing is to be saved in that death. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. But I was talking to a lady on the phone a couple weeks ago, and she said her brother had died. And just before he died, he was saved. He was young, and it was very unfortunate that he got cancer and he died. And she was still grieving that, but she said he just got saved. And I said, well, sometimes we have to go up to death, and in that death I'd rather have somebody die and be saved just before they die than live unsaved and not have eternal life. Does that make sense? Kind of taken me a long time to get to that. But anyway, I wanted to show you something. My accident, my bruising, brace yourself, is really good, but look at what happened. I don't know if the video is going to really pick up on the lump. It's huge. I'm going to try to put my hand on it. It's huge. It's a huge, huge hematoma, actually. It's gigantic. And I talked to my doctor friend, and he said that it was a fascia latae tendon that's underneath that's the tendon. It's a very big tendon, and it's probably in the fasciae, which is the connective tissue. It's quite large, but I want to show you the amazing thing is all the bruising is gone. And the bruising is gone, and I've been actually videotaping and recording how I've been treating this. And I've been treating it with, I did onion poultice, I've been doing castor oil, and now I'm hitting it hard with poultices, charcoal poultices. And the bruising just left, and I had such extensive bruising. It is amazing to see how those natural remedies got rid of my bruising. I'm amazed even as a nurse. But now the hematoma has developed, and I just discovered that actually I was having an encounter, and I showed the lady I was having an encounter with my leg. It just so happened that she was a nurse. And she looked at that, and I didn't realize the bulge. She's like, oh my gosh, you have a huge hematoma. I'm like, oh, I have what? It just popped up. It just popped up. And she's like, wow, there's a lot of blood underneath there. And So prayers would be appreciated because it is a really large hematoma. My sister keeps wanting me to go to the doctor, and I'm like, well, what are they going to do? I've read up. I do read, I do research, and they do recommend hypertherapy. There's laser therapy. There's all this different type of therapy. But hypertherapy I can do because I do that for the cancer. I'm really surprised. So I'm starting to do hypertherapy. I'm back to doing some ice. And that's how cute he is. He's just the cutest. He was laying underneath the other RV today. I'll show you footage of that. Apparently he doesn't like where I'm staying. So there's another RV on the premise. But anyway, I hope everybody had a really nice 4th. And you're having rest and peace. And I'm praying for that for everybody. And like I said, I do need prayers for my health. I'm in Georgia, and then I'm going to be heading to Alachua, Florida for a little bit. And then I'm going to be coming full circle back to Savannah for just a day. And then I think I'm going to go back up to North Carolina before I head up to the Black Hills, where I'm actually doing the Sturgis rally, where all the bikers are going to be in August. So that's kind of the workload right now. And Mario, my compadre, will be with me. So as soon as I got done filming, the crew came up from the jail, and the jail people are here. And Officer Hall is over there, and I just ended up talking to him, and I gave him a great controversy, and I gave him 4 books to hand out to the 4 prisoners. And so there you go. I had prayed this morning for an encounter. I said, Lord, I know I'm here with my mom, but use me in a big, big way. And so the officer didn't really, he wished he was in the military, and he wished this and he wished that. But yeah, there you go. Just like that. Oh, there we go. Officer Hall and all those young men. So I hope they read the Steps to Christ. You never know what can happen. See, that's all it takes, is one conversation, and those books, 4 books, and his book. Even if one seed gets planted, you never know.